Hello, fellow cartoon airplane collectors. Not many of us, but I'm glad that there are a few, and in particular enthusiasts that like to design their own. So this is a website called Taobao. I knew about it a long time ago, but I could never figure out how to use it. I believe Taobao restricts countries from using it. I believe maybe Taobao owns AliExpress or one parent company, Alipay, maybe. I don't know. So the reason why I'm showing this web page is I found this airplane on this website, and I asked the person, "Do you have like a Western outlet, Amazon or eBay?" And the person said no. So I'm like, "Where do you want to send people if they like your products? This review?" They're like, "This is the only place you can buy it." But this person thinks Americans, Europeans might not be able to order off this website. So there's nothing I can do for you guys. I tried. Um, that's the best I can do. So this thing came in this box. I just don't want to show my address. I don't need to get packages or sarin or whatever. But Ships of Cats is the store here, and there's a lot of cool stuff here. So don't be surprised if I get more if this thing ends up being nice. In particular, a Typhoon, a cartoon Typhoon, but a lot of Western vehicles, right? The Arleigh Burke class, right? These airplanes, Russian, American, French, Chinese, these tanks also. That's right up my alley if you watch my channel. Uh, Boy, there's a lot of cool stuff here, right? So very neat. At minimum, you could just look up Ships of Cats. But today we're going over the F-117. So I'll let you read ahead on this Wikipedia, but this particular plane was started development in the 1970s. Its first flight was in 1981, and its first service, I guess, was delivered. The production one was delivered in 1982. Supposedly, it retired though earlier than it actually says. Yeah, here it says it was retired in 2008 for the F-22 Raptor to come and take over. But they're still flying today in training programs and all that stuff. Up to 2022 is the last recording thing here. So if you're unaware of this technology behind this, it's made of all these two-dimensional flat surfaces that deflect the radar off to a different direction and not back to the radar emitter. So that's what the concept of stealth. The signature of this thing is only 0.001 of a square meter, or 0.01 square feet. So it's like the size of a small bird, I guess, or an insect, I suppose. I don't know. It's pretty small, right? But it can't fly at hypersonic speeds because the sonic boom would give it away. It mixes fresh air with the exhaust to help hide the heat signature. I'm pretty sure it has internal weapon space. And then here are the statistics down here. 65 meters, I think it said. Hold on, there's a bunch on display. Crew of 1, 65 feet, or 20 meters in length. Wingspan is 43 feet, or 13 meters. Let's see. 2 engines, making 9,000 pound-feet. Goes 684 miles per hour, or 1,100 kilometers an hour. Point Mach 2, so yeah, they have to keep it under Mach 1. Decent range. Anyways, that's what I care to learn. Yeah, so those are the weapons that it could hold. And in like Operation Desert Storm, it took out over 1,000 key things, and it's served in other wars and conflicts as well. Okay. All right, moving along here. Let's see. Interesting. Just in a bag. Alright. I assume this is a 3D printed model. Similar to the Top Gun Chen things I've reviewed. Get these out of here. Alright. So let's see. I gotta change the angle again. Oh, you know what? Sorry. I'm gonna compare to the photographs first, and then we'll look at the model. So here's the top view of it. You know, the real one's a bit longer, but this actually isn't that deformed compared to the top view. From the top view, it doesn't look that far off. The side view there, yeah, it's quite taller, like a Chorokyu. And now you can see how short it is compared to how slender that is. This radar signature must look like just a flock of birds to the enemy, right? And this is at some airport. I brought this photo up because that's the back end of an SR-71 Blackbird, which is a big plane I've seen in person on a couple aircraft carriers, one in New York and one in San Diego. But I've never seen one of these in person. And there's the undercarriage there. Okay, so now let's get into this thing. I suppose the measurements should be done first. I would say it's roughly around 5 inches or like 12 centimeters in length. This wingspan is roughly 4.5, 4.75, or maybe 12 centimeters again. So it's almost like a square of a footprint. I'm going to start at the bottom. So it's definitely, I think, 3D printed. I can see all these little step lines. So it seems okay. It's not too bad. They're pretty fine lines. And then I do see this decal here. I'm hoping this is under a clear coat. You can see the magnets here that you can magnetize the covers or the landing gear. So in fact, let me do the covers first. We'll do it in flight mode. Oh, I see. There's actually a chamfer. So there's a right and left landing gear cover. So you heard the magnet snap in place. So that's good. There's also one in the front. But the magnet is actually laying horizontal. The magnet's there. Interesting. Oh boy, that is way too recessed. So I don't know what happened there. I feel like oh, well, it kind of corrected itself, but I feel like if this was to be designed a little bit better, maybe there should be like some extra plastic to keep it from sinking in the front, right? Maybe if there was more plastic here, that would level it out with the rest of the body. An easy fix is to put some poster putty in there. Yeah, that's not too bad right there, but still, it is a little bit recessed. So you have some sort of recessed blue thing. Maybe that's some sort of optic sensor. I do see it on the under photograph. There's some sort of panel there. And then you can see all these little details here of panel lines and such. And then literally a hinged weapons bay. Be careful not to break the edges. Oh, wow, that's really cool. I didn't realize it actually came with bombs. I ordered this a while ago. It took a while to get to me, but so now the insides are painted white. I have to believe that's quite accurate. And then, yeah, you have a bomb with 2 magnets. And then there's some structure inside of there. That is really unexpected and really, really cool. So that'll help explain why the thing is so tall, because it's literally holding this bomb. And it's a pretty fat bomb. And the back end is hollowed out to have less plastic being used. And then there's a nice yellow stripe painted on there. A little bit of brown in between those fins, so that's difficult to paint. And it's just rounded and really foreshortened. Alright, so it's cool that it does have magnets because you can display it in flight mode when it's just about to drop ordnance, right? So now this magnet here again is horizontal. I don't know what the logic of that is. Maybe it's just easier to, pry it like this. That's probably the logic behind it. Whereas if it was more like the magnet orientation of this, it might be harder to get this open. I don't know. I didn't design this, so the other side, I'm gonna assume, has a bomb in there. Uh-oh. Oh, these are magnetic. I thought there was supposed to be like a pin there. I thought I broke it, but thankfully, no, I didn't. There's literally a magnet here and here, and then this has magnets, I guess. So you can remove this entirely, obviously. That's cool. All right, so very neat. It's a little bit warped, though, I think, or maybe just the way the magnets are. I suppose again, you could just put some poster putty in there. Or maybe it's because that bomb wasn't sitting right. This side seems okay, but for some reason, I wonder if I could flip-flop them. Oh, see, these jagged edges kind of catch. No, there isn't two magnets, so you can't flip-flop it. I don't think. Did I see a magnet here? No, I did not. Okay, well, anyways, it's gonna have to do. Yeah, the 3D printing process, I think, warped it a little bit. That's just what happens when you 3D print stuff a lot. You're melting plastic, if it's an FDM printer. Alright, well, the ailerons here, or whatever, the flaps here, you got pretty decent panel gaps there. Unfortunately, some sort of defect there. All in all, pretty nice. And then you got these funky sensors on the front. And they're not super thin, probably for durability. I'm okay with that. And then, yeah, this triangle here, and there's a decal of some, I have no idea what that symbol is. And then again, a blue sensor or window of some sort. So that's cool. And then you have the cockpit here. It's not sitting as flush as it could be, quite gappy. The decals are nicely done. Alright, and then some nice thin strips leading into those engines. Another decal, Air Force decal. I don't know what this would be. A bunch of bolt heads maybe. This side looks symmetric, and then the Air Force thing on this wing, and the opposite there. So now you got some black recesses, that paint there, some raised ridges. Maybe that's a refueling port, if I believe correctly. Leave a comment if you know better. I'm just guessing most of the time. And then the rear wings, they're canted. Seems much more horizontal than the real plane. They seem more vertical on the real plane. And then you can see the exhaust here, how they're blending in with the fresh air. And those things go all the way in there. I think I saw some light coming through from the front end somewhere. Yeah, see? That light's pretty far forward, so pretty deep stuff there. Anything else on the outside of this thing? Not sure what that hatch would be for. Alright, well, a key thing is, now you can see there's a pilot already in here. And the windows are relatively clear. Yeah, they're not scratched out, they're not too cloudy. But they most likely, I guess, would be 3D printed. Just looking at the inside of this canopy here. Yeah, I can see those step lines, but this feels perfectly smooth. So, I can feel them on the outside. Yeah, ideally maybe this one could have been sanded. I think maybe the other ones were polished. You can see the jaggedness of the front end. You can see the magnets embedded in this clear resin. All in all, pretty nice. Okay, what's going on in here now? So, some sort of green paint for that heads-up display. Look at this expression. It's awesome. Such wide eyes. He's got a little mustache going on. Let me just pull this character out. Very small. Okay, so there's a mask, but it's just off to the side. It's not a separate piece. I think it's just the way it was printed. Yeah, alright, so it's just painted nice. Yeah, eyebrows and stuff. I don't know what that is, but the visor, painted black. It's not movable or anything like that. Yeah, green outfit. A little bit of a hose detail there. Okay, so it's a well detailed character. Definitely looks cartoony. I mean, the head's huge compared to the body, right? So that's neat. All right, so this is all black, like most instrument clusters, to keep reflections out of the pilot's face, I assume. Painted green, a little bit of some bumps from the 3D printing process. And then most of it's black. Oh, very nice, very nice. Let's check out the decals here. Yeah, looks like a smart glass cockpit to me. And the flight stick or whatever that thing is. Yeah, interesting. Not bad, not bad at all. Yeah, that's neat. Very cool. Let's get this person back in. The person actually has black boots on as well. So it looks like it wouldn't fit, right? But, you know, this thing peeks out quite a bit. I feel like maybe the well, there's only one magnet. Maybe if it was off to the side, it might be easier. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of wish maybe this fit a little bit tighter. But still, this is the only deformed F-117 that I'm aware of. So one thing I'm noticing is there's no peg hole for a flight stand. I'm going to check under this bomb to see if there's a hole there. Maybe you could remove a bomb and put it on a stand. Oh, yeah, there it is. Was it on this side? No. Okay, I just wasn't paying attention. To me, that looks like it might be a 2.5 millimeter thing. Let's see if I can find something. So I 3D printed my own stand for other planes, but this is probably a 2.5 millimeter hole because this is a 2 millimeter rod and it's quite loose, but it will not fit a 3 millimeter rod. I just don't have a 2.5 millimeter rod, so okay, let me put one of these bombs back. Maybe this one will be left open, and this one, well, I guess both maybe. This one has to be. Well, I'm trying to see if I can actually pose both open, but maybe they can't. Well, only at an angle. They kind of collide with each other. So if I put this up here, let me change the angle here. You have to remove these photos, they're distracting. Let's get this up on for a spin in flight mode. Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice. There's actual decals on those somewhat vertical stabilizers. So if anyone knows, you know, what Air Force base is this, I think maybe these are all flying out of Nevada, according to that Wikipedia, but I might be wrong. And I think it said maybe 49 of these are made, but anyhow. So it looks pretty cool in flight mode, and if this is a a bar, this ferrous, unfortunately this is a high stainless content, so the magnet's not sticking to it. But yeah, if you found a bar with high carbon in it, carbon steel or ferrous, then yeah, that would stick. But not the case. Not the case here. So it seems like maybe you just leave one flap open. I suppose if it really bothers you, you could literally drill a hole back here somewhere, but you're going to lose some of that panel detail. But there is some height right here, right behind the doors. Or here, but that's kind of weird, I think, to put it there. Alright, let's put the landing gear in. Knowing now that, you know, the plastic will warp at this thinness, maybe it'd be better if it didn't have bomb bays. But then if you didn't, then I'd be saying the complete opposite, saying maybe this should have bomb bays. It's a catch-22. You don't know until you have it. You always want the grass is greener on the other side. Right, so I would have to assume maybe... Oh, I see. This rectangle goes back. But I would assume that's the way it's supposed to be. That side. So the wheels are facing inside, and there's some silver paint for the shock area, and then the panels are painted the same gray. It's like a really dark gray. It's not actually black. And then let's get this thing off. So you definitely gotta need a toothpick or something, and plastic would be better than, so it keeps it from scratching the paint. Wood products are actually abrasive, by the way. Okay, this seems... I wonder if that tape is there for on purpose. Like maybe it's to shim it. I don't think it is. Let me take this tape off. Maybe it's such a tight fit, any paint would make it difficult to add or remove this. That could be the case. Alright, so the jagged edge wants to be towards the back. Okay. I don't think I see a magnet on this. No. Silver paint. So anyways, this one is not magnetized like the others, which is unfortunate. I feel like maybe the designer wants to redesign this part to have a magnet, because it's definitely, oh, and that also fell out. And that is, oh, this isn't magnetized either. Only the hatches are magnetized. So that's kind of weird. I feel like it would make sense if these are magnetized, but I assume maybe the designer's just thinking the weight of the plane is what's gonna, keep that upright. But now, this thing fell out, and then I gotta put the hatch back on. Sadly, the hatch, there's something wrong with it. It's like a super matte finish. Maybe it was matte clear coated later, but it's not like the same finish as the rest of the plane, which is more satin finished than this is super matte, right? So that's a bit odd. I suppose you could have the bomb bay's doors open like this too. It's plenty high enough, so you could maybe have a diorama of people trying to load it with those bombs. So for me, I think I'll probably display it like this, but I'm going to put some poster board putty into those areas so the landing gear don't just fall out from when I do that. So these things are so big it's hard to compare. I'm just going to pull out two. So here's the SR-71, but this is by Hasegawa. It's one of those egg planes. So that's a very small, the egg planes are very small compared to these 3D printed ones. This is the A-10 done by Top Gun Chen. And so I feel like these two now scale correctly. The humanoids are very similar in size. But Hasegawa, yeah, that's a different, like, cute scale, I would say. It's just smaller. But the Hasegawas are super cheap, so they don't have much detail compared to these things, but they're also not nearly as expensive. But you do have to build the Hasegawas. These I paid to be painted, so that's also why it costs money. But you can buy, well, I know you can buy a plain model kit of that and paint it yourself. I don't know about this. I don't know. Alright, well, anyways, you got the sizing down. I gotta say, I'm pretty happy. As I mentioned, I think it's the only F-117 Nighthawk, is it? I don't even know the code name for this plane. But anyways, in deformed shape, this is what you get, and it's pretty cool. Alright, so it could have been a little bit better though, I feel. Mainly I think it's the color of this cockpit. It just doesn't match the rest of the plane. It's a totally different finish, so that's unfortunate. Nothing else really major with the other ones. Maybe magnetic landing gear, but if it gets me a cheaper model, I don't need magnetic landing gear. Poster putty does the job anyways. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. Do not be surprised if I get more models from this particular designer, because I think this is cool enough to warrant a further purchase. We'll see you in that next video. Thanks for checking this out today. Stealthing out. That's not really a saying, is it?